Well, we cannot have a clean CR, that's for certain. And that would be just extending Nancy Pelosi's terrible policies. So any CR is going to have to be qualified. That means border security. That means weaponization of the Department of Justice. That means taking the wokeness out of the military. I think our work will still continue even if we have a government shutdown. And just like the Speaker said, a continuing resolution is not going to change Washington.
That was Georgia Congressman Andrew Clyde with me yesterday here on the program as Congress races to avoid a shutdown before the September 30th funding deadline. I spoke with House Speaker Kevin McCarthy about it on Sunday Morning Futures, this upcoming battle on Capitol Hill to not only avert a shutdown, but also take on the impeachment inquiry that so many members want. Watch this. Will you bring an impeachment inquiry against President Biden this September?
If you look at all the information we've been able to gather so far, it is a natural step forward that you would have to go to an impeachment inquiry.
Will you be able to deepen this probe while also battling Democrats and the White House about funding government by September 30th?
So I would actually like to have a short-term CR. If we shut down, all of government shuts it down, investigation and everything else. It hurts the American public.
Joining me right now is South Carolina Congressman Ralph Norman. He's a member of the House Budget, Financial Services, and Rules Committee. Congressman, good to see you. Thanks very much for being here. Where do we stand on a shutdown? Are you expecting that as well as an impeachment inquiry?
Yeah, and Maria, you can do both. It's like walking and chewing gum.
Okay.
You know, the fact is we've got 11 days to come up with 11 appropriation bills. We need the top line numbers, and as Congressman Clyde said, we've got some conditions that a growing number of us won't, like the spending at pre-COVID levels, like end the weaponization, like control the border, and that's just not happening. So having a clean CR, we're going to use the power of the purse, and if the threat of the shutdown, which they're using, look what's happened in the past. The government shut the American businesses down and schools. It's time for the American people, if we don't get conservative spending under control, to shut it down, which we will do if we have to do that.
Yeah, but look, I'm looking at a story here right now. Merrick Garland's DOJ tells Jim Jordan that it will not cooperate with Hunter-related subpoenas. Now David Weiss is in charge, and the DOJ apparently told House Judiciary Chairman Jim Jordan that the subpoenas for 2 FBI agents involved in the investigation for Hunter cannot be enforced due to this ongoing investigation. This is what we were expecting when they put the special counsel in place. Does this make it more imperative than earlier to do this impeachment inquiry so that you can get the data that you want from the DOJ?
Absolutely, Maria. I mean, if we don't have enough evidence now, what more does it take? This isn't innuendo. This isn't just hearsay. We've got direct evidence of crimes committed by the Biden administration, and Merrick Garland is just relaying what the Biden administration is telling him. Yes, we've got to have an inquiry and let the facts lead where they may. But it's not looking good for the Biden administration, and it's time to do that now, and hopefully Kevin will do that.
Well, it's not looking good for your efforts to get all this information, though. Garland just said this is an ongoing investigation. David Weiss is in charge. We're not giving you anything, and that we're not answering these subpoenas. What are you going to do about it?
You know, well, we just keep, they can't continue to stonewall, Maria.
Okay.
I mean, they can try. Jordan doesn't give up. James Comer does not do, none of them give up. And so we'll continue. You know, this president said he was going to be the most upfront president, transformative president we've had. Anything but that since he's been in office.
Yeah.
They fight at every level, but we will too.
Kayleigh, jump in.
Congressman, Speaker McCarthy also said on Sunday that a potential government shutdown could affect House Republicans' investigation into the Biden family and even temporarily shut down that investigation. Is that something that you and your colleagues are worried about?
No, because the cancer in this country is the spending. And, I mean, look what's happened. They've downgraded our debt, and to tie the two together, you know, even during a government shutdown, you have essential versus non-essential services. And Social Security payments still go out, Medicaid, Medicare payments. So I don't know why he's linking the two. That's not going to change my vote. We either going to have these basic things done, or we use our vote and the power of the purse to stop it. And you know, and it's a growing number of us. That's why the 100 leaders signed a letter saying you really need to do the things that we listed, as I mentioned: the border security, 1.47 pre-COVID numbers. It's an embarrassment not to have each of the 11 committees, our top line numbers, so we can see what it is. In 11 days, it's going to be real tough to get them out.
So, I mean, at this point, it sounds like a government shutdown is likely, and you're saying, look, maybe this is what we need to stop the Biden agenda, but the president keeps on spending and wanting more stimulus. He just announced yesterday that he's wiping out $72 million in student loan debt from 2,300 borrowers who attended Ashford University, a former for-profit institution that the University of Arizona purchased back in 2020. It comes after he promised to overhaul other student repayment plans to make them more affordable for borrowers, despite the fact that the Supreme Court said that forgiving debt is unconstitutional, Congressman. So are you going to be able to, I mean, what does a government shutdown get you? A couple more days to finish the appropriations work? Is that even enough in terms of getting these remaining 11 bills done?
Well, time will tell, and we'll use whatever time it needs to be. It needs to get the spending under control. Regarding the debt, I don't know how many times the Supreme Court's going to have to rule. It was 6-3 that it's unconstitutional, and there's no forgiving of debt. Somebody's got to pay for it. He's just saying let the American people pay for it, the taxpayers, which is totally unacceptable. And he can keep trying all he wants, but now we've got a substantial number of people who are willing to fight this administration and say, no, the American people are tired of it, including the government dictating everything in their lives and shutting the businesses down as they did in COVID.
Yeah. By the way, Congressman, you want a short-term continuing resolution to finish the bills. If we were to see a short-term, what does that mean? December, January? What would you want? How short-term?
Well, I think what Kevin mentioned is do it through December. And the game plan is, if it's like in the past, they do a big omnibus that throws everything in. And again, we're not going to vote for that. Okay. So we'll just hold up, and however many months it takes to rein in this lawless overreach by government, we'll do that.
All right. Well, we'll leave it there. Congressman, it's good to see you this morning. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Congressman Ralph Norman. We'll be right back.